Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to discuss John Kerry was over at COP27 along with the rest of everyone who has achieved hugely negative results for decades now. And they want to replace capitalism with a new economic system. So I guess our leaders are taking Greta's advice, even though Greta didn't attend or Greta wasn't invited. I'm not exactly sure which way that went, but Greta calls for the overthrow of the whole capitalist system, and here we have John Kerry. Yeah, calling for the same thing. It's for climate goals, of course. Of course, you can't have capitalism and live responsibly, according to the people that have prevented the responsible solutions the world needs since November 93. All these world leaders, they've gotten us to what they call, this critical point because A, they have proven they don't have solutions, and B, since November 93, they have prevented the light years best environmental education and agenda that, I've begged them to use for almost 30 years now, ending our disposable society, hemp, gaining individual cooperation, educating them so that they understand how to and why they should just be responsible, like turning off lights when you're not using them. I mean, how simple is that? Which people are starting to learn now with energy prices. But we didn't need the energy prices, and we don't need to end capitalism. We need to bring back capitalism. Okay, we need to bring it back, and what we need is to embark on real solutions, which none of the leaders out there are talking about. Here's another article. This is The Guardian. Phil McDuff. Ending climate change requires the end of capitalism. Do we have the stomach for it? And, all of a sudden, that's the big headline. Now, Samantha Powers says that we must accelerate, a more ambitious agenda than the ridiculous Polaris agenda, which has achieved nothing since 2016 now? I mean, it's 6 years later. When had we embarked on the environmental education and agenda, we would have achieved so much in the past 6 years. Yet we're still arguing over a worthless agenda. And now they think, we should do a little more. Well, the little more they're talking that we have to do is what no one's been doing since November of 93. Now, Samantha here, she was part of Barack's first, she was something. I forget exactly what her title is, but I mean, I've seen that face enough. Obama confidant right here. Well, she was something else too. Samantha Power said to Biden, we have to accelerate a more ambitious climate agenda than what's already outlined in the Paris Climate Accord. And, of course, they blame it on the rollback of regulations that had been put in place in the Obama years, that the rollback during the responsible administration, which legalized hemp. Okay, one of the most important things you need to do for the environment that no one's talking about, because it can do everything. We wouldn't be talking about oil if we were talking about hemp. I mean, we'd still probably be using oil, because to have everything, run on hemp, I don't know how much hemp production, that it's capable of providing for everything, every car, every clothes, everything. But maybe, we should at least look into it. We should be utilizing it for as much of everything that we can. But the powers that are put a dollar amount on it, a 368 billion investment. We don't need $368 billion, right? It doesn't cost anything to turn off your electricity. Okay, we just need responsible You end your disposable society, you're going to be cutting costs like crazy in a lot of places. Okay. So, but to them, it's all about their investments, slush funds, I guess, as they're being, outed these days. But Biden must accelerate the war on fossil fuels, bring prices down everywhere. Well, that's going to mean more solar, wind, more accessible to renewals at a cheaper price. But, that's all they're talking about still, just energy, just energy. When the number one thing we need to be doing with energy is turning off unused energy, which is 40% of, you know, the demand. That's what it's estimated to be. Okay. And then of course we need other real solutions, just even living responsibly. There's so much that can just be done. But, it, this is what these world figures, they have their private agenda, you know, um, and right here, what's the private agenda? The World Economic Forum's climate change agenda was modeled off the effort to roll out vaccines. Okay, that Kerry said that during COP27. This is Leo HOHMANN.com. And Leo says that means we can all look forward to high pressure, coercive government tactics, and not only from the government but from corporate elites. And Kerry said that it's urgent for the private sector to pair with government, which is true, right? You know how we could do that? Hey, how about if, stadiums and all eateries weren't disposable? Are we talking about that? No. No, 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 nothing sensible. No, no, they're just talking about, we have an enormous challenge to bring to scale new technologies and to harness the deeply capable capacity of private sector entrepreneurs in order to bring them to the table, because without it, no government has enough money. We need everyone behind this, and we don't need everybody's money. We just need everybody being willing to actually educate themselves and then become the solution themselves. Because the solution is each person replacing dozens of daily irresponsible actions with responsible actions. So, we don't need corporations huge sums of money. We don't need it. Okay, we just need sensible. And then, okay, hey, when and if clean energy ever comes about, we can, switch over to it when it's ready. But we need all of this. And of course, the powers that aren't talking about that. But, they have their World Economic Forum agenda. King Charles, yes, he pretty much dittoed that. And they need nations to pool their resources and raise $1 trillion to combat climate change. $1 trillion. Okay. From countries all over the world that are absolutely beyond broke in huge, huge debt. But this is scary. Kerry said that it's needed to create demand signals in the market where they didn't exist, which takes boldness. It takes courage from these executives who have made the decision to be a part of this. So Leo, the author, says, they want to artificially create demand where there's none exists for things like vaccines, electric cars, fake meat grown in labs, replacing animal protein with crickets and other insects, solar and wind power, and places of reliable coal and oil. Right. Yeah, that's what he said. We need to create demand signals in the market where they don't exist. Well, you know where they do exist and the market would really go for them? Hemp. Yeah, yeah. People would go for hemp. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? If you explained it to them, people would go for revamping society and ending our disposable society too. They'd get over it. And, but no, they want the powers that are just want to push their agenda. So they're going to create demand signals, right? Demand signals, meaning they mandate that you decide you want all of these things, which no one in their right mind would want. But Leo says here, that's not how capitalism works. I've been through it. Like, we don't have capitalism. We need to get back to capitalism. Listen to Peter Schiff about that. You know, um, yeah, capitalism works. But, right, the powers that are don't want us peons, us useless eaters, to have capitalism. Yeah, yeah. The people that are here to serve them just are going to have a very minimal existence. Right, where that punishes businesses and individuals who refuse to go along with the new system of government and corporate coercion. So, um, that's what they're trying to bring in. And so that's why, they're just out there with propaganda that capitalism doesn't work, but you've never seen anybody, you know, run away from a capitalist country. Okay. But man, oh man, do people try to flock into it even, today when it doesn't even exist because in the past it used to be here. But what we need is to bring back capitalism. And what we need is to get on the solutions the world needs that have been refused by all leaders. So here, I thought I'd remind the occupants in the White House. That's not my phone. That's not my street. But you can read this message that I'm sending to them. Samantha Powers says we need to do more. So do what you've refused since '93, and oh, you know what? Uh-oh, I better fix this. It looks like it's only going to send to there. Well, let's see. Let's just send this. So hopefully this sends. Okay. Thank you for your submission. So there you go. I'm sure they'll be getting in touch with me. No, no, they won't. Like they haven't, since Barack's first presidential campaign, as I put in there. And then I replied to Phil here, who said, well, in this article where he asked if we have the stomach to end climate change. But and this really promotes the new agenda. This is an interesting read if you want to be brainwashed. But it says to pretend that we can compromise our way through this while we wait for a magical technological bullet that will keep temperatures down without costing us anything is beyond willful ignorance now. It's a question of basic morality. So yeah, this article was pretty interesting, definitely pushing the narrative. Of course, it's in the Guardian, and he's pushing the end of capitalism. So I'm going to tweet to him: the magical, low cost, immediately implementable, needed, sensible, can't be argued against environmental solutions the world needs is available. Just all environmental voices have prevented it since November '93. Report, I'll correct that, this truth, environmentaleducator.org. So there we go. We just tweeted. My tweet was sent to Phil McDuff here, Mr. Yeah, that's some interesting things in here. But John's wrong. Samantha is right. We must accelerate, and we do need a more ambitious agenda. But I guarantee Samantha and I are talking about two completely different agendas. Hers is tyranny and ridiculousness. Mine is freedom and the actual solutions that would actually solve problems and not impose mandates and not, have to, okay, all you households have to upgrade and like the depression that's coming. Okay, that's going to be wonderful. This is what we need, and this is what they won't allow. And never forget that. And, tell people, like, hey man, check this out. I swear to God, they're all frauds because, as we discuss on this channel, no independent media will tell you this. Alex Jones, Project Veritas, no one. Okay, they won't tell you this, but it's true and people need to know it. So feel free to share it and stay tuned, people.